Hello and welcome to the national news on Star Television, Channel 21. I am Yesi Ernest Hallowell. His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio on Monday, November 8, 2021, joined hundreds of relatives and mourners to give a befitting burial to Sierra Leoneans who lost their lives in the tragic fire disaster.
Within Naya, one for make the bereaved family, the one that we lost people them directly, may they know say this not a loss for Salone, not just a loss for them. And for me they take heart and also get faith that we as a country commend all of the one that we don't pass.
The commanding officer at the Joint Medical Unit, otherwise known as the 34 Military Hospital, Colonel Dr. Stephen Sively, has described severe burn injuries as the most traumatic and physically debilitating injuries affecting nearly every organ and leading to significant morbidity and mortality.
People were so badly burned, like genitals, hands, eyes. It was quite serious. Maybe 2 or 3 of the victims will have something like 40 to 50% of surface area wounds.
Those were the headlines. Welcome back, and now for the news in details. His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio has on Monday, November 8, 2021, joined hundreds of relatives and mourners to give a befitting and dignified burial to Sierra Leoneans who lost their lives in the tragic fire disaster that occurred on Friday, 5th November at PMB Junction, Wellington, in the east end of Freetown. Moses Ojukamara tells us more.
An interfaith mass funeral service was held in honor of the deceased and prayers of plea for speedy recovery of those critically injured. Chief Mourner, who happens to be the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, in his tribute said, "What happened is preventable in a rule-based society." As he said, laws are made to avoid catastrophes like these. This is a sad and solemn farewell event.
Within Naya, one for make the bereaved family, the one that we lost people them directly, may they know say this not a loss for Salone, not just a loss for them. And for me they take heart and also get faith that we as a country commend all of the one that we don't pass to God the Almighty for making go get mercy on them and grant them merciful judgment.
His Excellency concluded by reiterating that it was good that they had given a dignified burial to the dead, adding that it is also better that they looked after those in the hospitals and prayed for them for speedy recovery. Freetown's Mayor Yvonne Aki-Sawyer, whose city suffered this horrific incident, was at the mass funeral service and expressed her condolences to the bereaved families.
This today, the 8th, yesterday, the 7th, when exactly 6 years from when we declared the end of the outbreak, it just occurred to me, we didn't say, look, we didn't have now yeah, we can bear all of it. Now yeah, we bear but now we get I come back last night. I spent some time this morning, spent about 4 hours in the community that we work today. When you listen to the stories of fathers, we lost 3 sisters, we lost 3 brothers. Mama, where his son go look for him, then his son left at the time. You know, I mean, I don't think I get words for express waiting, then we feel, and waiting as a nation we feel today, as a city we feel today. All I can say is, let me put out to God in prayer. Let me pray for the one that we left behind. them agona kono and agona mission na obwafi. The kind of an injury, the kind of a burns that we see. Tell God thank you. So the Ministry of Health announced that they're getting additional support. We're going to need all the support because even last night or today, we don't lost more people. I didn't know people that receive calls, their loved ones that within our hospital don't die. People in the emergency don't die. So at this time, we want to forget past this day very quickly. And we want to really build a future. Ask yourself the questions. What do we need to do to avoid the avoidable?
83 unidentified corpses were buried, while scores who sustained injuries from the incidents have been treated. Those buried on Monday, 8th November 2021, were laid to rest in the same cemetery as some of those who died in the 2017 mudslide that killed some 1,000 people in the city and those who died from the Ebola epidemic. For Star News, I am Moses Ojukamara.
May their souls rest in peace. The commanding officer at the Joint Medical Unit, otherwise known as the 34 Military Hospital, Colonel Dr. Stephen Sivali, has described severe burn injuries as the most traumatic and physically debilitating injuries affecting nearly every organ of the human system and leading to significant morbidity and mortality. Dr. Stephen Sivali was speaking on the state of those affected during the November 5th fuel tanker explosion at the suburbs of Wellington that puts the number of conservatively 100, while the severely injured were taken to various hospitals across the capital. He spoke to Abdul Rahman Kamara in this interview.
And but we have to commend the disaster management unit in this country that is led by Lieutenant General West. Their response was very swift. I am particularly impressed with the level of coordination, not only as a disaster unit, but a multi-agency coordination that was put together very quickly. And all the charred dead bodies, the scene was cleared like by the morning hours. In terms of the month's victims that came to the hospital, that night we received 21, and by the next day we had received a total of 25. Most of the victims were severely burnt. I mean, almost all of our cases are above 75% of body surface area, some as much as over 95% burnt. People were so badly burnt, like genitals, hands, eyes. It was quite serious. Maybe 2 or 3 of the victims will have something like 40 to 50% of surface area burnt. And generally with burns, mortality is extremely high, even in the best of centers. With severe burns, especially third-degree burns, you get mortality over 90% in the best of centers. And the immediate acute period, which is usually within the first 72 hours to 4 or 5 days. And in the long term, because infections and other complications are going to set in. And of course, it requires long-term management, because the joints are likely to be stiff, so you need physiotherapy, you need plastic surgery. There is going to be body image issue because that is not who you are and what you body discoloration and all these things. So it's quite a serious issue. So for us as a military hospital, we are doing our best. We did not have a burns unit before, but then I think from our experience in sanitation, we have been adapting very quickly. And now this 13-bed tent structure has been dedicated as the burns unit. This morning we had a meeting and we set up SOPs, and all like the skill set we need and collaborative practice to do nothing literally. And I think the scale of the disaster is not something that has completely gone out of our capacity. I believe the Ministry of Health is competent. The Ministry of Health has the skill sets. We have trained as a country psychiatrists, we've trained as a country surgeons, plastic surgeons, general surgeons with different subspecialties. We've trained internists, we have physiotherapists. And with this scale of less than 100 patients, probably now, minus the mortality that has occurred, I really feel that let's take the challenge. I am not particularly keen about having fun. Our strength is adaptability. We're able to quickly adapt whenever there is a crisis, be it COVID, Ebola, and for example now this fire disaster. Whenever there is a crisis, we also see it as a chance to be able to strengthen your system a little bit more. We did not have a specialist bunch unit. There was this acute disaster, the need was there, not just for this disaster, but as a country. The other day we had an incident in May, and now we are developing one. This morning, my team has come together and we've put together what skill set we need. That is why I'm confident we do not need an external expert for this particular situation. We've decided and we realized that most of the skill sets we need we actually have within. Probably we might need advice, at another technical level, but maybe not at efficient management level. And this is how we move towards the center of excellence. This is how we move towards improving our health system. With this, I think a lot of learning is taking place, generally, for us as a country, but for 34 military hospitals in particular. If you go in now, you will see the nurses and the practices right now they are adopting. And we are collaborating with other colleagues, and I am sure we continue to move. We don't pray for anything bad to happen. But once it has occurred, then let us learn something from it to improve our system a bit more. And if it should happen in future, we will do better. Well, we have to face reality. Mortality is generally very high in severe burns, that is one. But at the same time, the consolation is the sense of community. That togetherness. His Excellency the President was here the night he arrived to see the victim. I think there has been leadership right at that level, coming right down. And I think that gives all health workers, the momentum, the spirit, for us to galvanize and do as much as we can for the people. I will say my condolences to those that have lost their lives and the families. As health care workers, we continue to do our best. Let them be assured we are going to do the best we can to make sure the slightest chance of survival is retained, and we utilize that as much as possible. But it's a sad situation. We have to deal with it as it is, and we move forward and do everything to prevent it in future. I think that is the other important thing.
Senior management at the Rokel Commercial Bank have on Monday, November 8th, provided significant support to victims and families affected by the November 5th inferno that left at least 97 dead and over 100 hospitalized at the Wellington Industrial Estate in Freetown. Janet Mubezaiza takes up the story.
The bank's manager, led by Managing Director Walton Ekondayo Gilpin, earlier today handed over medical supplies worth millions of leones to the Ministry of Health and the management of the country's main referral hospital, Connaught. The support includes medical items delivered on 2 separate occasions at the Connaught Hospital, as well as food items provided to bereaved families at the Owaf community, where most victims of the fire incident reside. At the Connaught Hospital, the donated medical items were received by the Deputy Minister of Health, Amara Jambai, who thanked the Rokel Commercial Bank and appealed for more donations from other institutions. This is the time for us to come together to help our compatriots, as government alone cannot do it. Connaught Hospital Medical Superintendent Dr. Kaba said the magnitude of response from institutions like Rokel Commercial Bank has given hope to ordinary Sierra Leoneans and medical practitioners that they have not been forsaken.
Done previously, it shows you that you have read the magnitude of the problem. You have seen that this is a catastrophe and government needs all the help. We want to reach out through what we have done here to our other colleagues, private practitioners or wherever they are, institutions. This is the time for us to come all together. This is the time to give. We need this sort of help because government cannot do it alone. We want to thank you so much and to say that we appreciate what you have done and we want the lessons learned to sort of spread all over. Let us give because when you give, God will give you more. That is a formula that we have seen over the years. So, Rokel Commercial Bank, may your business grow. May you see more profits. And may you be in position to give us more.
At the Owaf community, the mood was somber as the area chief and community people converged to receive food items including rice, onions, cooking oil and water. Since we lost our relatives in that disaster, this is the first bank that has come to support us as families of victims who lost loved ones, and we are very grateful for that, remarked Chief Pa Almami Kabo, who also assured the bank that every single item donated will reach victims and their families.
Welcome to the big local meeting at this time of need. So, when this disaster takes place, the banks within the country, then are the first people that can show sympathy towards me. That shows they get interest for what happen within the human community. Me, I'm a member of that bank. So I welcome the bank and appreciate what they do for me. Let God help them. Let God protect the workers at the bank. Let God protect the director and the
Managing Director of Rokel Commercial Bank, Dr. Walton Gilpin, was almost in tears when he arrived. We are here to commiserate with you all as a bank that operates in your neighborhood. We are here in solidarity with our neighbors. This tragedy can only to strengthen our resolve to remain our brother's keeper. As it emerged, a considerable number of Oduaf residents are customers of the Rokel Commercial Bank. The gesture was therefore deemed appropriate, timely, as it has further solicited and cemented the goodwill from a community deep in mourning.
What will happen tomorrow, or what will happen next tomorrow? We no longer expect this kind of so. I want to go about the business, then this kind of hala come. But we as bottom now, we get for the day for each other, I think can't hear they happy. Being at this bank, na Solomon Bank this. The bank we all waiting the happy day na Solomon get up. And we didn't never know so what this year to happen. So here in the team, we realize not only for say that Solomon possible affect, but our community inside this bank come out, now instead to affect. So we say we know say today we don't go first, on Saturday we'll go to the hospital. We go give medicine there. Because they feel them. It's just we get a customer they will die inside that fire day. Then again, today back we go to hospital back again. We give more medicine. Because why? We know say we all get responsibility for every self. And this bank, whatever profit we get, they hide the left. So whatever money we get, they put on pound on people there. They will say for kind of the community. We say family they die. People they cry. People they suffer. We come with them tears for help for the small young bambai. Because some man day, the breadwinner, he don't die. Some man day, when they sell every picking them, he don't die. So picking them day, then they wonder how for eat. Some families and they how for move on. But one for another say we are with you. This will bring so a token of we appreciation of Una as motorman them, as customer them.
For Star TV News in Freetown, compiled by Abdulrahman Kamara and read in the studio by Janet Mubezaiza.
If you've just joined us, this is the national news on Star Television, Channel 21. Mahmoud Kamara, also known as Nice Guy, has on Saturday commissioned another road project worth over 70 million leones at Kanigo Maribo community as a way to ease the constraints of residents in that community. George Elliott Sam tells us more.
Mahmoud Kamara, popularly known as Mr. Nice Guy, has on Saturday, the 6th of November 2021, commissioned another road project that is worth over 70 million leones at the Kanigo Marimbo community as a way to ease the constraints of its people. Pa Almami Bangura, chief of Kanigo Marimbo community, thanked Mahmoud Kamara for his philanthropic gesture towards his people and further that it has been a long suffering for his people as there were no good roads for them. But with the intervention of Mahmoud Kamara, Mr. Nice Guy, life for his people will come to normalcy.
This fire became a water naya. The driver na say, we get small pikin naya. When they go school, Kumara de there, Beloma de there. When I society where they have win, where one can help with, like him, I make the go to for adjusted that for make the like the place, make sure say any Beloma way, Bele Hatia, they go able to quick, between 6F, they go able to quick now kitchen. And they know him that all day, he come, he called me, he said, do ya? He said the one day when they make half thing there now, some building there. He said, do you not talk to them? You don't make it by forceful. He said, I beg them, let them wait a small, they get for can, make like all my free now for worker. So I tell her plenty thank you. I know for them. They call me, they send my straight Acacia, all the work there. I then I didn't at the site. But when I chief there, now pray for them for the anyone with the sorry for we, like God make. When do we want like God here? This fire can't put this difficult per we, Naya, na Mariboya. This the water where they pump here passes can there August. That time they could not say, yeah, the damage bad. Mrs. F, them don't hit me Naya. Mike don't hit me Naya. So I want to watch the mommy they cry say I don't want bad one. So if this fire can make cry not for her again, like God bless her. Why they want to support her? Like God bless her.
Rugiatu Kamara, chair lady of Kanigo Malama Maribo community, also thanked Mahmoud Kamara for his gesture and also explained some of the constraints they have been facing over the years.
Marimbo, we glad for the relationship. Very nice guy they build for me. At least we don't suffer Marimbo. We don't suffer. Come Marimbo 2003 up to nowadays. Now we know what we don't go through. Today, for we can up Marimbo ya. Now Sheriff drive motorcar the left way. We walk out from Sheriff drive, take her up Marimbo. It's not easy. So if you see them make up for it today, we begin get bike stop to Mami Queen. We walk back to Mami Queen car up. Say it go forward, they make this small road for we. Bike begin can small the left way. So if you can't get this opportunity, say, and they can't make for we this road, where the motorcar and the bike they go up with us direct. So we tell them plenty thank you. But what you don't do, because it's less than not easy. So we tell them plenty thank you.
Addressing his large audience, Mahmoud Kamara, Mr. Nice Guy, thanked the people for the warm welcome. He also stated that, see the constraint of the people of Marimbo community, Kanigo, he knows that he needs to do the needful for them. He further explained that with the engagement of the community stakeholders, and they requested him to salvage the road condition for them. Prior to his promise to them, he is commissioning and also to make
as a way of strengthening financial resilience and improve financial inclusion among rural women, Catholic Agency for Overseas Development and its partners have launched Women and Girls First Financial Inclusion and Resilience at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Freetown.
As research has shown that women find it difficult to have access to finance, even when greater burden of solving economic challenges rests with them, the launch of this Women and Girls Financial Inclusion, according to the country representative of Catholic Agency for Overseas Development, Kayode Akintola, will empower women and improve economic growth.
And it is the effort to bring the more than 80.2% of the population in Sierra Leone, mostly poor, mostly women, who currently lack access to basic financial services, whether bank or even mobile money, to bring them into the formal financial networks. The merits of financial inclusion are strongly rooted in empowerment. Access to credit is a key link between economic opportunity and economic outcome. By empowering individuals and families to cultivate economic opportunities, I reason that financial inclusion can be a powerful agent for strong and inclusive growth.
David Masare, Chief Executive Officer, Orange Mobile Finance Sierra Leone, noted that financial inclusion is at the heart of Orange Mobile Company's corporate strategy.
Financial inclusion, and particularly financial inclusion for women, is at the heart of our corporate strategy in Orange Money. Our hope is that before 2025 we'll have a bulk or significant portion of the adult population to have access to financial services. And we've been working with various partners to ensure that this is done. And I'm more than excited to note that CAFOD is moving in a similar direction, and we're willing to embrace all those institutions with similar objectives.
When officially launching the project, the keynote speaker, the bank governor, Professor Kefala Kalon, commended CAFOD for such approach in closing the financial gap, noting that the Bank of Sierra Leone will provide the necessary leadership to achieve inclusion.
As head of the premier financial institution in this country, which is charged with promoting financial sector development and inclusion among other responsibilities, I pledge the Bank of Sierra Leone support for this project, which I am fully convinced will significantly enhance the bank's financial inclusion program by making financial services more accessible to women and girls than ever before. In this regard, I thank the leadership and staff of CAFOD and their donors for putting together the initiative we are launching here this morning.
This project will directly target over 17,000 rural community members, of which 15,000 are women, in 200 rural communities. For Star TV News in Freetown, Alfie Barry reporting.
Well, viewers, that's all we have for you in today's edition of the National News on Star Television, Channel 21. Many thanks for watching. I have been Yesi Ernest Hallowell.